Once upon a time, there was a lovely serpentine river meandering through a field in the countryside. There were rocks in the river splashing water all over. In this river, there were two frogs who were so friendly with each other, that they were almost like brothers. The two were very adventurous. One was small and thin while the other was fat and big. The two were so friendly that, when either found prey like dragonflies, they used to share with one another. One day they both decided to hop and eventually were hopping towards the countryside. When they reached the countryside, they saw a farmer after milking the cow taking a small shallow milk bucket towards the farmhouse. The farmer left the small milk bucket at the door and went into the farmhouse. During this time the farmer's cat came towards the bucket and smelled the milk, so jumped onto the brim of the bucket, and suddenly the bucket toppled. The cat licked and almost wiped off what was fallen over the floor, and soon when the cat heard the farmer opening the door, he ran away. However, the farmer saw the cat running and knew what has happened and straightened up the shallow milk bucket, which had little milk left in the shallow bucket. Then the farmer went to the stable to feed the horses. All these scenes were watched by the two adventurous friendly frogs. Then the two had a chit-chat and decided to jump into the shallow bucket and see what was going to happen. As soon as they hopped and jumped into the small shallow bucket, they had a nice time hopping inside the bucket. The two enjoyed it. Suddenly the farmer came to the farmhouse where the shallow small bucket was kept and saw that there were two frogs in it and shouted, "Oh frogs, get out please," and he threw the bucket away. And the frogs managed to jump from the bucket and hopped into the greenery and then went to the river again, enjoying what happened in the countryside. A few months passed by, and the two friendly frogs again decided to have a nice time at the farmhouse and hence set off to the farmhouse. The two saw this time another bucket, however a big tall one, and thought this time, not like the previous time, there might be more milk in it, and something more in it. Then the two decided and hopped to the big bucket abruptly with great enthusiasm. Once paddling and swimming in the milk for a few minutes, the big fat frog said, "High time, let's jump off." Both agreed and started to paddle and found struggling to reach to the brim to get off. The fat big frog told the small frog, "My friend, look here. This time, unlike last time, I am not enjoying. We cannot get off. The bucket is half full of milk and this bucket is taller than the previous one. How can we get off? I think we will die in this. This time our adventure has got doomed. My limbs are so painful after paddling so much. I cannot bear this anymore, my friend. There is nobody to help us either." Then the small, thin frog said, "Yes, this time our adventure has got tough. However, let's not give up. Let's keep on paddling. We can make it. I cannot do it any longer. We are going to drown anyway. What's the use of paddling? No one is going to come and save our lives. Last time the bucket was shallow and was thrown away, but this time it's too difficult. The bucket is tall and slippery. I am going to stop this." "Don't give up," the small frog told the friend, but unfortunately he drowned and died. The small thin frog was devastated and shocked and extremely sad. However, he had great determination and somehow kept on paddling throughout the night. Suddenly he felt that the milk had curdled after paddling for so long. Then he realized that he could jump off and jumped off from the bucket happily and went to the river where the two set off their journey. However, the small thin frog was very sad to lose his best friend that day. After a few years, this small frog married a female frog and they had a lot of frog sons. Day and night the father frog, who was the small frog at that time, used to reiterate this story to his frog family so as not to give up and to keep the fat frog's name memorable. He named his family Big Brother Frog Family. In life, there are so many hurdles to face, but never ever give up and never forget your roots, because what matters is life beyond goals. Cherish and nourish all your hurdles and soon it becomes yummy when you succeed. This feeling of success turns to be everlasting happiness.